and Leon Bridgeport, the senior forward, is leading the team in scoring and in rebounding. He's got 5 double-doubles. Got to have a big one for the upset-minded Seawolves here tonight against UConn.
And it's also a homecoming for Stony Brook coach Nick McCartchick. Born in Norwich, one of the greatest players in Fairfield history. How will his Wolves do tonight against the 11th ranked team in the country? The starting lineups are next.
Welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center in the first ever meeting between UConn and Stony Brook. Let's check the lineups. First for the visitors, freshman guard DJ Munir is coming off a career-high 19-point performance in the Seawolves' last outing last Friday, a win over Texas Arlington. Nick McCartchick, before he came to Stony Brook, 12 years the coach at Fordham, before that 10 years at Canisius. And for UConn, senior Albert Mooring is 8th in the Big East in three-point field goals with 26, but was 0 for 5 behind the arc 2 nights ago against Rhode Island. Jim Calhoun, in his 15 years at UConn, has won 6 Big East regular season titles, 4 conference tournament titles, and 1 national title. Suleiman Wan will be jumping center for the Huskies against Leon Bridgeport, a transfer from Providence. Donnie Gray will toss it up. He's working the game with Bob Adams and Jeff Clark. And we are underway from Hartford, the final game of the 2000 calendar year for UConn. Talik Brown for the Huskies, man-to-man for Stony Brook.
Yeah, Stony Brook will play man-to-man, solid defense. He'll play position defense. They're not as big or as quick as UConn. Try to force outside jumpers and then box out.
On the right, it's Butler coming off the triple-double. Finds Brown in traffic in the lane, front rims it, and the rebound comes down to DJ Munir.
One of the keys for Stony Brook is to limit UConn to 1 shot each time. The bigger Huskies should have some good opportunities in the paint tonight.
Huskies also man-to-man. Wan getting the assignment on Bridgeport, who sets the screen for Munir. Then hands to Little. Little being defended by Mooring.
Jim Calhoun not happy with the defense against URI recently, and he's hoping that his Huskies will come out and play with some defensive intensity here tonight at the Civic Center.
Shot clock inside 10. Turnaround in the lane by Jairus McCollum. Had 9 against Texas Arlington last Friday and puts the Seawolves on the board first.
This is a Stony Brook team that's lost a close game to Rutgers. They did play St. John's and lost by 24. But they've played a couple of Big East opponents already this year.
Down low, it comes to Wan, spins on Bridgeport, fakes him into the air, but can't get it to go down.
Now that's an outstanding look for UConn. They want to get it into the paint. Everyone at the Civic Center still on their feet until that first bucket goes down for the Huskies.
4th straight game for the Huskies here in this building. Down low, Bridgeport puts it on the floor. Jump hook blocked by Wan, but goaltending is called. So score the goal for Bridgeport, who's coming off a double-double of 18 points and 14 rebounds against Texas Arlington.
Now, Bridgeport at 6'8", certainly giving up some height against the 6'11" Wan. I don't think that shot's going to go. He blocks it on its way down, though. Good call by the official, and a good start for Stony Brook.
Wan down low over Bridgeport. No good. Rebound batted around, last touch by Bridgeport. UConn ball. Now the shot clock says 19. And Justin Brown will make an early entrance for the Huskies, replacing Wan. Wan has really struggled in the scoring department, although he did come off a 9-point effort 2 nights ago against Rhode Island, and Ronnie was much more active and thinking shot the other night than he had been earlier.
Well, he came out looking for it tonight as well without good results, so Jim Calhoun with the quick substitution to Justin Brown, and we're seeing some zone here by Stony Brook. Look for Mooring from the perimeter or Butler.
With the shot clock running down, Brown missing the one-hander. Bridgeport rebound finds Munir. 4-0 Stony Brook. We've played 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
This is a young Stony Brook team starting 3 freshmen, but a disciplined team with Bridgeport inside.
Munir hits the pull-up, and just like that, the Seawolves in their 2nd year in Division I with a quick 6-0 lead. Butler tries to cut it in half. Munir with the rebound. The crowd a little bit restless.
Munir, a good-looking young player. He's from Warwick, Rhode Island. He's leading the team in assists. And right now you're seeing some patience by Stony Brook, and their confidence couldn't be higher coming into this game, grabbing the quick early lead.
Off the give and go, Little has trouble controlling Bridgeport right side jumper. Rebound, Brown. That was the first miss for Stony Brook. The Huskies are 0 for 5. Mooring, turnaround. 0 for 6, but Butler's there to clean up. can't get the putback to go, but he will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. And from the line has been one of many strengths for Caron Butler this year, who's shooting 74.5% from the line in his first 8 games in a UConn uniform.
Well, he's doing so many things so well when you think about the triple-double that he just had against URI. Second in the team in scoring, very consistent rebounding. He's at 21 assists in his last 2 games. And Jim Calhoun's got to be thrilled with the immediate positive impact from this freshman.
There certainly, Ron, has been no shortage of great players during this last 13-year run for the Huskies. And if you want to back it up even further to Cliff Robinson, who was Jim Calhoun's first great player here. But as I mentioned at the top of the telecast, I'm not sure any of them this early in their career were as versatile as Butler is in so many different areas on the floor.
Yeah, he's done such a great job of it. He's doing it from the forward position, yet he has a lot of the attributes of a guard, shooting it and also dishing the basketball.
Off the missed free throw, Edmund Saunders picks up the first foul of the evening on the Huskies. We've played just over 3 minutes, a 6-1 Stony Brook lead. This the 5th meeting for Stony Brook against the Big East team in their history, as we see UConn still looking for that first field goal. Let's see if they can get it off the Saunders steal. Butler on the left will be called for traveling.
Wow, UConn trying to pick the pace of this game up a little bit, which is smart. They're quicker, they're deeper, and they're more athletic than Stony Brook. But when you get the turnover, which they just got on the press, you've got to go down and get a good look. Instead, they turned it right back over.
Here comes the cavalry. Marcus Cox, Tony Robertson, and Johnny Selvey. Brown will sit down, Saunders will sit down, and so will Mooring. So already, here we are 3 minutes and 18 seconds into the game, Ron, and Caron Butler, the only Husky starter still on the floor.
Jim Calhoun clearly looking for a group that's going to come out and play with some intensity, get after it defensively, and hit the backboards. Didn't think it was happening right away.
Tanapka throws it away. 2 straight steals for the Huskies. Robertson, who was scoreless against Rhode Island the other night. Butler for 3. 0 for 7 is UConn.
Well, the zone working right now. UConn getting some excellent looks, but if he couldn't be working out for a better script right now for Stony Brook. One shot, bringing it down, and then working the shot clock at the other end.
Down low McCollum with the spin move on Selvey. Butler way up in the air for hit the rebound. On the right, Cox into the teeth of the defense. Kick out Robertson for 3. Got it. So it took UConn 4 minutes and 3 seconds to get its first field goal, and when they get it, it's a 3, which, by the way, Ron, is 1 more 3 than the Huskies had 2 nights ago.
I know it. 0 for 8 from three-point land against URI. The break was working very well. They got to make a few. How about that pass?
My goodness.
Little third-row action on that long one against pressure.
I'm not sure Manute Bol could have flagged down that one. Timeout. 15:42. Robertson with the 3 for UConn. They trail by 2. You're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. Does that look like the face of a man who's won 589 games in a team that's won 9 in a row?
I don't think so. Jim Calhoun not happy. You see, the 15 years at UConn have been just surrounded by W's, but right now the 721 winning percentage doesn't seem to be keeping Coach Calhoun happy. Not happy with the start of this game, down by 2 points right now. He wants to see more intensity. He's really shaking the lineup up so far. I got to tell you, the last few times down the court, Bob, the pressure seems to be working pretty well. Stony Brook with 3 turnovers.
Looks like a 1-2-2 zone trap here for the Seawolves for the first time. Butler on the left misses the shot. So Caron 0 for 3 in the early going. But Johnny Selvey picking up where he left off 2 nights ago against Rhode Island.
That looked a little bit like the highlight we showed before the game, where he stuffed it for 2 of his 26 in that game. And the Huskies trying to ramp up the pressure right now.
Stony Brook attacking that UConn pressure. Little throws up a 3, and with that 3, he has tied the school record held previously by Emeka Smith with 185 career 3-pointers, with a product out of nearby Rocky Hill. Butler with the drive, score it, and the foul.
Nice quick answer by UConn on this one. Butler along the baseline. I just don't see the foul on it. I see a nice move to make that basket happen, but let's check it out. That's just a little touch job in there by Brizport if he got the foul, but I think that should have been a no call that time, Bob.
First on Bridgeport, 2 on the team. So Butler with the three-point play pulls the Huskies even at 9, 5 minutes in. Again, the full court pressure by the Huskies and that sophomore backcourt of Cox and Robertson. Jim Calhoun clearly, Ron, looking for some more defensive pressure on the ball.
Well, they're doing a good job of it, too. Both Robertson, he came right in, hit a three, but Cox getting after it defensively, not making it easy right now for the Seawolf guards to bring the ball up the court.
This is Little spinning, finds Bridgeport right side. Kanopka on the floor, tries to go by Butler, and as he goes, he loses the handle. And turnover number 4 for the Seawolves. Substitution for Stony Brook. Chris Bolero will enter. 6'7" senior from Swampscott, Massachusetts.
Bolero is a good rebounder. He's got over 400 rebounds for his career. He's also a veteran, so he'll come in and bring some stability. He's a senior.
Nick McCarchick starts 3 freshmen for his Seawolves. And Cox mix up on the communication with Butler. Butler wanted to go backdoor, and Cox didn't see it that way, and it was a nice, crisp one-hop bounce pass to the Stony Brook bench.
Just a little bit of a breakdown in timing right there. The 2-2-1 UConn. Press back on, though. You got to get it to the middle and then reverse the ball. Oh, good trap.
McCollum doubled, gets out of it, finds Munir on the left.
Tougher to trap a man in the middle of the court than along the baseline, though.
McCollum spins and gets fouled. Chance for a three-point play for the freshman from Mount Holly, New Jersey.
Very nice drop step move by McCollum inside. Good look in there against the pressure. And Butler can't quite get there in time. He just does a nice turnaround. And nice spacing that time. The more you extend the guards out defensively, there should be some openings like that for the Stony Brook front court.
And you think Jim Calhoun's a little unhappy? He has just put Shaman Tools into the game. Shaman Tools is a 6'5" freshman who thus far has only played in 16 minutes. And here, 6 minutes into the game, he finds himself on the floor against Stony Brook. He's number 30.
I'd say that Jim Calhoun's sending a message early in this one. He wants the high intensity level. Hasn't been happy so far.
Cox drives, rejected. Justin Brown with the loose change inside.
Boy, Nick McCarchick way up off the bench that time. Felt that Brown came in with the elbows riding high. Might have a case.
Justin Brown, 16th and 17th points of the year. The 6'10" sophomore from Australia. Pull-up jumper, Littles. Can't get the roll, but Bridgeport with the putback.
That's just a case of boxing out. Bridgeport active in there, but you can't allow those second chance baskets, especially when you got the height advantage, which UConn has right now.
4 points for Bridgeport. He's averaging 22 in his last 5. Robertson front rims the 3. Rebound kept alive by Brown, and a fresh 35 for UConn.
UConn seems out of sync. They're seeing a 1-2-2 zone, a lot of different defenses.
Robertson with the baseline drive. Selby's putback won't fall. And here comes Little. And Stony Brook that has a numbers advantage here, but McCollum loses his footing and is called for the travel. That's turnover number 5 as Suleiman Wan returns, replacing Brown.
Sometimes you want to catch the ball and make things happen so quickly. You've got to just catch it sometimes and square up and then gather yourself before you put the ball right to the floor.
The Huskies' lone loss to Dayton as we look at the turnover story. Stony Brook turned the ball over 27 times last time out against Texas Arlington, but escaped with a 3-point win.
The 3 games before that, they were under 15 turnovers a game, so they are prone to a lot of turnovers. And right now, they're on a high turnover pace as they start this game out.
Tools off the nice backdoor bounce pass from Wan, and Tools, who hails from the same high school as former Husky great Rip Hamilton, Coatesville High in Pennsylvania, with his first points in a UConn uniform.
That's got to be a big confidence builder on the floor. Nice strong move, and to get it to go through the nets on the release. Huskies stay with the man-to-man D.
We're tied at 13. We've played just over 8 minutes. Left side, Bolero. Foot was on the line. Would have been a 2. Rebound, Cox. Head up, finds Robertson. Right side, Tools. Selby. And rebound inside by Bolero. You mentioned that he's a good rebounder. He proved it on that one.
Yeah, went up strong on that one. Johnny Selby, unable to connect. Nice pass.
Good look inside to McCollum. 6 points for McCollum. And it's Stony Brook by a pair.
Well, you know, Stony Brook gets their first few baskets of this game, goes up 6-0. Their confidence rises, and now all of a sudden they're back on defense after the made field goal, setting the zone up, forcing UConn to hit a couple of jumpers.
Selby lobs it down low to Juan, who turns and the high post jumper, and he buries it.
That may get Juan going. He's turning around looking for the offense here tonight.
Juan had only scored 30 points in the first 10 games. He missed the first 3 himself. Another turnover for the Seawolves, and that will bring us to an official timeout. 10:53 to go in the first half, and we're all even at 15. But Stony Brook not looking like a second-year Division I team against the mighty Huskies. We're all even at 15, nearly halfway through the first half here at the Hartford Civic Center. Now let's take a look at the Volkswagen Big East leaders. There's Johnny Selby, to the right of your screen. The second best field goal shooting percentage in the Big East, entering tonight's ball game, 63%, already 1 of 2 in the ball game. Jim Calhoun didn't exactly strain the vocal cords during that last timeout, Ron.
No, 2 timeouts in a row that Jim Calhoun let his assistant coaches, Dave Lato, Tom Moore, Carl Hobbs, just talk it over with the team during the huddle. Wasn't involved in it. He wants to send a message. You see the rebounding even. He wants to ramp this game up, turn it up a few notches. And he's got, I think, a lineup out there right now that can get it done with both Selby and Butler on the floor with Mooring.
During the timeout and following the timeout, Saunders, Mooring, and Brown all re-entered. Bridgeport with 5 rebounds already for Stony Brook. The Huskies out-rebound their opponents 7 per game. So far tonight, they're even, and Selby with a tough shot along the baseline.
Instant offense. He hasn't found a move in there yet that he can't get it done and fill it up. You see it again inside. Very creative.
2-point UConn lead. The final non-conference game before the start of the conference season. Mooring with the steal has Selby to the right. Instead finds Brown right down the middle.
Fast break to perfection. Very little pounding of the basketball. Turnover and create offense out of it.
Talik Brown had 12 points in the win over Rhode Island on Tuesday. Bridgeport baseline goes around Saunders, loses the handle. Joachim Eriksson, 6'8" sophomore from Sweden in the lineup. Right side 3 by Bolero.
Nice ball movement that time by Stony Brook. The difference that time against pressure is they really pass the ball to the open man. You cannot dribble it and get trapped against the quick Huskies.
12th 3 of the season for Bolero. On the year, Stony Brook shooting 34% from behind the arc. 1-point Husky lead. Brown juggles the pass, and Saunders wanted to go inside, but he forced it. It wasn't there.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Sometimes you just want to jam it down there. The zone's been pretty effective so far for the Seawolves. They're keeping UConn around the perimeter where they want them.
Down low, Bridgeport doubled by Selby. Little for 3, and the record, there it is. Josh Little has just broken the Stony Brook career record for 3-point field goals. That's his 186th. And congratulations to the 6'2 senior from nearby Rocky Hill High School.
Well, the Rocky Hill guy got it done there. That was a tough 3. He was defended on that one.
Mooring, who missed all 5 3-point attempts Tuesday night, misses this one. Stony Brook has yet to miss a 3 tonight. 3 for 3 from behind the arc are the Seawolves. Down low, Bridgeport doubled, finds the open man Bolero. Now Munir on the switch being defended by Butler, but the screen by Eriksson resulted in the open look by Munir, but he didn't even hit the rim. Brown changes directions. Good crisp ball movement for UConn, and Mooring hits the 2.
That's a nice pass, and we've talked a little bit about Butler's passing. He recognized Mooring, the terrific perimeter shooter, and he got it right to him, even though he probably could have taken the look himself. That's his 3rd assist of the game.
Bolero to Bridgeport. Reversal to Little. Another 3. He's come home. And just about 10 miles from his house. And oh, look at the circus shot by Talik Brown.
Getting a little up and down action. I was going to say, I love the cross-court pass by Bridgeport last time. But UConn with the quick answer, pace picking up, and UConn turning up the pressure.
Eriksson tries to get the timeout, but instead called by Donnie Gray for the travel. Turnover number 8 for the Seawolves. bringing us to a timeout. 7:22 to go. Stony Brook on a record-shattering night. For the local product, Josh Little leads by 1. You're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. From the northern shore of Long Island with a 1-point lead over UConn. 7:22 remaining first half. Jim Calhoun's Huskies beginning conference play next Wednesday at Boston College. The home conference opener 3 days later against St. John's, then home against Pittsburgh, at Providence, and a non-league date at Texas. Do you believe in the law of averages, Mr. Perry?
Sure.
You do? Well, then Boston College one of these years has to beat UConn, because the Huskies have beaten them 23 straight times.
Eventually it'll happen. Before, what a run, huh?
The three-point story on your screen. Stony Brook is yet to miss. Rebound last touch by the Seawolves, so the Huskies will inbound beneath their own hoop. Here comes Tony Robertson back in, replacing Brown.
Well, if you thought of the ingredients that Stony Brook would need to pull off an upset, they'd have to limit turnovers, shoot it real well, and hold their own on the boards.
We are at the Hartford Civic Center on this 28th of December. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Ron Perry. Glad you could join us for Big East basketball. It's Stony Brook 24, UConn 23, with 7 minutes remaining. Selby missing the jumper in the lane. Rebound Juan, and this will be the third opportunity for the Huskies on this same possession.
And they're packing the zone right now, forcing jump shots, but the Seawolves have got to rebound out of this. Sometimes in the zone, people don't pick up men to block out, and you've got to find somebody.
Robertson, kick out Butler, right side jumper.
Nothing but net. Butler is so versatile. We talked about him at the beginning. We'll talk about him a lot. He's off to one of the great freshman starts here. There have been a lot of great ones. He's had 8 double-figure scoring games in a row to start out his freshman campaign.
Already 6 points, 4 assists tonight. Stony Brook 10 of 15 from the floor in the early going, and Butler will be called for the reach-in, and that is his second. 3 on UConn.
We'll see if Jim Calhoun goes to the bench with 6:11 to go. He doesn't want to see Butler pick up number 3 before intermission.
Ron Butler, despite the fact that he sat out the first 3 games, he was suspended. NCAA violation involving the partial financing of his education at Maine Central Institute. Despite the fact that he's missed 3 games, Ron, he's second in the Big East in steals with 21.
He's just playing great basketball. Nice hands by Selby.
Selby creates the steal. Cox on the run to Mooring, who spins, gets rejected. Then Selby runs it down and accidentally kicks it out of bounds.
See, the thing that Stony Brook's doing right now is they're getting back on defense. They're not allowing easy layups for UConn, and they're playing solid position defense between the UConn man and the basket. Good job so far.
Rob Hartman, number 24, is checked in for Stony Brook, 6-foot senior from Jackson Heights, New York. Stony Brook has taken only 15 shots in the first 14 minutes. Were it not for their 9 turnovers, they might have a significant lead. Instead, they trail 1. Brisbort forced that one. That was vaulted by Juan, who then loses his footing, and a great move to save it to Mooring. Reversal to Cox. On the floor he goes, and a blocking foul will be called on Valero. That's his first 3 on the team. Ron, we've only seen a total of 6 fouls in the first 14 and a half minutes.
Well, it's been a lot of perimeter jump shots. Stony Brook's been successful. They've been playing zone, forcing UConn to shoot from the perimeter, and Nick McCarchick's defensive scheme has been successful. He went to that zone after Stony Brook grabbed the early lead.
Stony Brook playing zone off the UConn inbound beneath its own hoop, like so many teams do. Pass knocked out of bounds with 28 left in the shot clock. Nick McCarchick told me yesterday, we'd like the final score to be 23-22. We're like the little sisters of the poor. We can't run with these guys.
Slow tempo. I don't know about 23-22, but keep the tempo down. Play this kind of game. We got a 25-24 game with 5 to go, and they've played solidly. The thing is they've shot it so well in the first half.
Mooring. How did that not stay in?
Oh, that's what you call no luck when the ball goes halfway down and rolls out. That's the way it's bouncing right now for the Huskies.
Mooring 1 of 4 from the floor. He's the Huskies' leading scorer. That was rebound number 6 for Leon Bridgeport. He leads Stony Brook in rebound, scoring, block shots, field goal shooting.
The good thing that Mooring did last time, though, is get it to the bucket, and the Huskies have got to do more of that.
Shot clock inside 10. Bridgeport for three. Missed everything. Juan with a hand in his face.
Not where Bridgeport wants to take it. They want him down low, not from three-point range.
Mooring for three. His first trifecta of the night, and 27th of the season.
Now, Mooring's the senior veteran. He's the guy that's got to step up when the team needs a lift, and that's a big bucket right there.
7-0 UConn run, largest lead of the night. It's only 4. Hartman with the heavy brace on his right knee. He missed a year with a torn ACL. UConn with 2 3-pointers tonight. We mentioned they didn't have any the other night. They've got 41 threes this year, and Mooring has 27. Bolero with the layup inside. He's got 5 off the bench.
Seeing with the successful shooting by Stony Brook, they get back defensively and set that zone up. Nice move.
And as Selby goes, he stepped on the end line. Timeout, 3:26 to go in the first half. UConn has 70 straight wins in the months of November and December. They're only up 2 with 3.5 remaining in the half. State House, one of the familiar sights in downtown Hartford. The UConn Huskies home away from home. And so far, not so good for the 11th ranked Huskies. The good news is they're up 2, but certainly, Ron, a surprise that this Stony Brook team, again in only its second year in Division I, is hanging with the 11th ranked team in the country.
Well, they got their first couple of shots, actually first few shots to go down in this game. The confidence went up instead of falling behind early, and they've been able to really do a good job with their zone defense. They've shot it well, and they've stayed right in this game. Nick McCarchick's club in the first half.
Nick McCarchick from the southeastern portion of Connecticut in Norwich. Great player there in his high school days. A member of the Fairfield University Athletic Hall of Fame. Graduated in 1963 at Fairfield. Also coached at St. Thomas 4 in Colchester. So a deep Connecticut background for the second-year coach of the Seawolves.
Well, he's a veteran. He's been through the wars, and he's got his team ready to play in this game, and they're responding so far.
Malik Brown finds Mooring on the left. Mooring with the pull-up jumper. Rebound controlled at the baseline by DJ Munir.
Not a great look that time by Mooring. Kind of forced it, trying to make some things happen.
Bridgeport down low. Good ball movement by the Seawolves.
You can control tempo a little bit better when you're in a close game like this, and Stony Brook just working the clock each time offensively, and that's frustrating defensively because you got to bear down for the full 35 seconds.
Shot clock inside 10 again. Munir down low. Bridgeport wants to go on one. Instead, kick out Panopka for the 3. Rebound. Great rebounding position for Juan. Mooring finds Brown. Now on the right, Robertson beats Hartman off the dribble and is hammered. No, they call it the other way. Well, they are going to call a blocking foul. I saw Bob Adams point the other way, and I thought for a moment he might call the charge. So Tony Robertson will go to the free throw line following the first foul of the night on Rob Hartman, and 4 on the Seawolves. Stony Brook has an RPI ranking of 239 out of the 320 Division I schools in the country. Coming up on the National Car Rental Halftime Report, Ron and I will take a look at the Big East Wire. We will also feature the UConn Huskies as they are poised to make yet another run for another Big East championship, trying to regain the title they lost a year ago to St. John's. First half highlights and stats from this one.
Nice job by Robertson making the free throws. Probably his best game of the year, without a doubt, was the 14-point effort in the great UConn win against Arizona at Gamble. And Robertson's been solid in this first half. Again, we'll see Stony Brook patient, and UConn's just got to bear down now defensively.
Selby with the quick hands to deflect the entry pass out of bounds. 14 to shoot for Stony Brook. Bridgeport has been very active off the boards with 6 rebounds, but Juan has made it difficult for Bridgeport to get his shot off. Here's a steal by Selby. 2-on-2 with Brown. Selby. And this one will be an offensive foul.
Well, I could tell just over midcourt that Selby was saying, hey, I am taking this thing to the rack. No doubt about it. And he just put his head down, good position on defense, and he picks up the charging foul.
Nick McCartchy calls time, and we shall step away. 1:40 to go in the half. UConn looking for a 10th straight win, but up only 4 over Stony Brook. Bob Picozzi, Ron Perry back at the Hartford Civic Center, where UConn finds itself in a tussle with Nick McCartchick's Stony Brook club. After starting out 10 for 15 and leading by 3, the Seawolves have hit just one of their last 6 shots, and it has coincided with a UConn 9-2 run, resulting in a 4-point Husky lead.
Well, a lot of Stony Brook's success in the first half has been from the perimeter, and sooner or later you get cold, and they've been turning it over, as you see right here.
Turnover number 11 as they tried the backdoor cut, but Konopka couldn't hang on. Robertson to Brown. Now Saunders back in, down the lane he goes, and as he goes, he will draw the foul on McCollum. For McCollum, that will be his first and 5 on the Seawolves, and to the free throw line will go the 6'8" senior from Waterbury.
That time Stony Brook gambled out of the zone, and a nice job by Saunders to take advantage of that and get it to the hole. But for most of this first half, UConn has had to take jump shots. They've struggled with it, but their defense has created some turnovers as this half has moved along.
Edmund Saunders, one of 4 Huskies, averaging in double figures through the first 10 games. He's scoring 11.2 points per game, and that's only 4th best on this very balanced UConn club. UConn now up 5. That is its biggest lead in the first 19 minutes. McCollum goes. Saunders with the rejection. McCollum gets it back. Shot clock did not recycle. It's now at 20. Brown pressuring Muneer. McCollum being defended by the much taller Saunders. McCollum giving away 3 inches in that matchup. Down low, Bridgeport lost it out of bounds. That's turnover number 12 for the Seawolves. Ron Bridgeport has been a monster off the boards tonight with 6 rebounds, but he's really struggled to try to get his shot off. Juan has altered a couple, and it looks like he might be pressing a little bit.
Well, at 6'8", he's had a hand in his face, and Juan's done a real nice job, and so has Robertson off the bench.
Robertson's second 3 of the night, is 5th of the season, 3rd of the night for UConn. Robertson's got 8, and the lead is 8. Shot clock is off with a half-minute remaining.
Stony Brook could use this one right here. They've been in a drought. They've been turning it over. They've got to remain aggressive with the basketball. Get it to the hole.
Konopka finds Little. He's already hit a couple of threes himself. Seawolves look like they want to run it all the way down and get the last shot of the half. Make or miss. Muneer will throw up the 3. Foot was on the line. It's a 2. Robertson at the buzzer. And that'll do it. So UConn with a 13-4 run to end the half, but only leads Stony Brook by 6 in the first meeting ever between these 2 schools. Caron Butler off the triple-double, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists tonight. Robertson leading the way with 8 for the Huskies. And Albert Mooring, 2 of 6 from the floor for 5 points. We're halfway home at the Civic Center. It's UConn 34, Stony Brook 28. Stay tuned for the National Car Rental halftime report. UConn 34 and Stony Brook 28 at halftime. Welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center. Bob Picozzi along with Ron Perry. Glad you could join us on this Thursday night. Final game of the year 2000 for UConn. Sort of a strange half, Ron. Only 9 fouls committed. Stony Brook had only 1 free throw attempt, and UConn had 8 more shot attempts from the floor, but the Seawolves made the most of their opportunities, and they're right in there.
Yeah, I thought the key was that Stony Brook came into this game, a game they're supposed to lose. They get off to a good start, get in the game, their confidence was high, and they shot the ball well in the first half.
Especially Josh Little from three-point land.
That's right. He had to make 2 threes to get the new record at Stony Brook for career threes made, and he did it. That second one broke the record. It was a beauty from the perimeter. Stony Brook made their first 4 of those, but then it was UConn. They eventually actually took control inside. Johnny Selby once again with the slam dunk. He then got the ball inside, finished off again, and UConn able to pull ahead, force Stony Brook into a dozen first-half turnovers, and grab the 6-point lead.
UConn scoring 14 points off those 12 Stony Brook turnovers. It's a 6-point Huskies lead. Back with the start of the second half from Hartford after this. Bob Picozzi, Ron Perry back at the Hartford Civic Center, where 11th ranked UConn is trying to extend its winning streak to 10, up 6 as we start the second half. A look at the first half stats. Ron, we mentioned the turnover story and how UConn capitalized by scoring 14 points off those dozen turnovers.
Well, that's right. They did the job defensively. They were able to score off of it. They need to do more of it. Should be doing a better job off the boards as well. They've got to defend better, though, not allow Stony Brook 50+% shooting in the second half.
Josh Little, all 9 of his points from behind the arc, 3 for 3. 6 points from McCollum, 5 off the bench for Chris Valero. And for UConn, leading the way off the bench, Tony Robertson with 8, then Butler with 6, 4 each for Talik Brown and Johnny Selby. But the staple of this UConn team over this last 13-year run, Ron, 13 straight postseason appearances, more than anything else has been the field goal defense. But as you said, not tonight. 52% Stony Brook shooting. Out of town, 18th ranked Cincinnati up 10 over North Carolina Wilmington. 13th ranked Syracuse with a 6-point lead at the half over Columbia. Number 9 Virginia hammering Bucknell halfway through. Florida with the early lead over Tulane. Later on, Arizona at home against Butler. Texas, who will host UConn next month, hosting North Carolina Asheville. And in the Big East in an afternoon game, Pittsburgh with the crosstown win over Robert Morris. Providence up 16 at the half over Boston University, and Villanova on the road even at the half with Georgia. West Virginia a little later will host James Madison. Great day for the West Virginia athletic department. A huge win for the Mountaineers football team this afternoon in the final game under coach Don Nealon. So congratulations to Don on a great career, which wrapped up today with a win in their bowl game.
Nice way to send them off.
Left side jumper. This time Little had the foot inside the line, so he's got 8 points. And Jim Calhoun already wants time. 23 seconds in, and this could be another one of these Harpo Marks timeouts for Calhoun.
I think it is. There's a lot of pensive moments. I think Jim Calhoun, though, is going to turn it up several notches in the second half. Sometimes you call a quick timeout. You send the message to your team. You say, hey, get back out there and get after it. We've got to play the defense. That was the message right there. That quick hoop by Little resulted in that timeout. Nice inside out passing. Gotta love it when your big people get it in there. They don't have it. Kick it out to the shooter, and they fill it up.
Well, you'd like to see your defensive intensity last at least 23 seconds into the half. Stony Brook now with the 2-3 zone. Down by 2 following the opening basket of the second half. 11 points for Rocky Hill's Josh Little. Mooring up high. Fakes the 3. On the left to Brown. Leaves for Mooring for 3. Rebound batted around, controlled by Saunders, who draws the foul. We'll get to the line.
Looked like Konopka caught him, and you know, Mooring and Butler should be your guys from the perimeter, but there should also be some great second chance opportunities for Saunders and Juan inside.
So Saunders will go to the free throw line, where he's 1 of 2 tonight, his only point of the night. The foul on Konopka, his first, and first on the Seawolves here in the second half. Stony Brook is one of only 6 Division I schools in the country who are an independent. They would very much like to find a league, and there's an outstanding chance that in the not too distant future they will find themselves in the America East.
That's right. A number of teams from the America East, including Drexel and Delaware and Towson, will be moving on, and that could provide an outstanding opportunity for the likes of Stony Brook.
Yeah, those 3 you mentioned, along with Hofstra, are leaving for the Colonial Athletic Association. So following the Saunders trip to the foul line, the lead is 4, a minute into the second half, and UConn much more aggressively defensively this time down, Ron.
Stony Brook still patient, working the shot clock. 7 on it now. They need penetration.
Here wants to go on Brown, and as he goes, he'll be called for the 5-second call by Bob Adams.
got to get penetration. You've got to get your shoulders by the defensive player, and you saw Munir that time laterally moving. Nice defense position-wise by Talik Brown.
Stony Brook stays in the zone. Brown directing traffic.
It's a 1-2-2 zone. They're matching up out of it nicely. They're trying to just clog up the lane area, negate the size that UConn has, and force some jump shots from the perimeter.
Saunders double teamed in the corner. Shot clock down to 10. Brown down the lane he goes, rejected by Konopka. The clock does not recycle. Butler down the lane can't go. Saunders misses the putback. Finally a whistle and a foul will be called. And it will be on Stony Brook. If it's Bridgeport, it's his second.
Good action. Here's the penetration by Talik Brown. Hey, when you penetrate, good things happen. Even though that shot is blocked, it goes out to Butler, who penetrates and eventually leads to a rebounding effort by UConn. And they're saying that foul was on the floor, so not a shot opportunity from the free throw line.
Second foul on Bridgeport. The second block shot of the night for Stony Brook. Huskies also with 2. UConn started the game 0 for 6 from the floor. Started the second half 0 for 4 until Juan does something about that. Now Konopka hit the floor after the shot. Donnie Gray blew the whistle. I think he just wanted to make sure that the game doesn't become any more physical.
That's where it's open, this zone. It's a 1-2-2. The middle area is open. If UConn can find Juan, he'll either have shots like that or he'll be able to dish the ball back out to the perimeter for the jump shot.
Juan with 4 points tonight. The UConn lead is 6. Konopka to Little. Right side Munir. He looks for Bridgeport, can't find him. Now gives it to Bridgeport along the baseline. Shot clock inside 10 again. Butler went for the steal. Results in the Konopka wide open jumper. Butler is a riverboat gambler, Ron. He tries to get his hands on everything. Sometimes it costs him.
Well, he leads the team in steals. You've got to gamble once in a while. That time it did not pay off. But with his quickness, more often than not, he'll get a hand on it.
Second in the Big East in steals, so I'll say it's paid off thus far. Mooring with the right side jumper. His 6th and 7th points of the night. He's the 7th leading scorer in the Big East. 6-point Husky lead, 3 minutes into the second half. Bridgeport up high. That field goal by Mooring set up by Butler's 6th assist of the night. He's had 21 assists in his 2 previous games.
Did a great job dishing the ball. Bob, it gets tougher and tougher to play control pace basketball when you're behind. Right now Stony Brook still close at 6, but UConn really turning up the heat.
Shot clock winding down. They might have a shot clock violation, and they do.
That's where you can be so patient that you just don't get it done before the shot clock goes off. You've got to be aggressive if you're Stony Brook, and they need to take it to the goal once in a while and see if they can draw a foul.
Turnover number 13 for Nick McCarchick's club. We mentioned the assist by Butler. He has become only the 2nd front court player in UConn history to go double figures in assists. Tony Hansen, 2nd leading scorer in UConn history, the only previous one to do it, and Karan has done it 2 straight games.
Yeah, that's incredible. Just a tremendous ability to hit the open man. Very unselfish.
Juan tries for the offensive rebound, can't get it, and Munir controls on a hop. UConn by 6, 4 minutes into the second half. Selby will check in for UConn at the next opportunity.
Bridgeport's got to get more involved in the Stony Brook offense. Juan doing a nice job defensively. He's got the height advantage. They've got to find Bridgeport inside.
Juan so often has experienced foul trouble this year, but thus far tonight has yet to pick up his first. Down low Bridgeport, fakes Juan into the air, misses the shot, then McCollum picks up the loose ball. And a foul will be called on UConn. This might be the first one on Suleiman, as Selby re-enters.
Well, they did a nice job. Little just makes a beautiful entry pass. But again, the height advantage, you can see Juan is just distracting Bridgeport. Good rebound, but the foul by UConn.
And it is the first foul on Juan and our first time out of the second half. UConn by 6. You're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. Locals just refer to that as the Tower, as in the Travelers Tower, as in the Travelers Insurance Company. one of the staples in downtown Hartford, one of the largest employers in the state of Connecticut. And we're just a few blocks away in the Hartford Civic Center, where the UConn Huskies find themselves surprisingly in quite the tussle. Up 6 over Stony Brook, 15:31 remaining. Mike Konopka to inbound. Take 2 on the inbound for Konopka, one of 3 freshman starters for this Stony Brook club.
You know what's funny is a young team. Stony Brook has played with quite a bit of poise in this game. Munier, handles the ball very well as a freshman. And I think Little and Bridgeport, nice job providing senior leadership with this young team because they've really worked the clock well.
Saunders gets a hand on it, but then stepped on the end line. 19 to shoot for the Seawolves.
And it gets frustrating defensively for UConn because Nick McCarchick's club is saying, hey, slow tempo, let's stay in the game, let's be patient. UConn wants to get that ball and run, but they've got to bear down and play the defense.
UConn again getting a hand on the pass. Still 18 left on the shot clock, and Brown went for the steal, couldn't get it. Munier down the lane. That one nearly drew rain. Selby will run down the rebound, and here comes UConn. Talik Brown, the freshman from Corona Park, New York. Selby baseline, and he knows what to do when he gets the ball, doesn't he?
He does, and again, Butler could have taken that shot. Makes a nice drop-down pass, getting Selby freed up, and Nick McCarchick says, hey, 8 points, suddenly a little bit of separation with UConn. He's saying, I want to talk this thing over.
This is the biggest lead of the night for UConn, with 14:52 remaining in the ball game.
There it is right there. Could have been a 3-point opportunity for Butler. He says, hey, Selby's got a better look, gets it right to the rack. Nice, easy bank shot. Unselfish play once again by Butler, and Selby does what he does so well. They become a very strong 1-2 combination.
The Stony Brook club, one of 6 schools in the country, Division I, not in a league, and as a result, tough to schedule, Ron, and as a result, you wind up playing a lot of away games, especially like last year when they were in their first year at Division I.
I'll tell you what, they were all over the place, huh, with that kind of a travel schedule. Yeah, frequent flyer miles. Nick McCarchick, he handles it well. He's saying we're off to a better start this year. We've mixed in some games that we could win. Happy with wins at UNH, at Columbia so far. He says, hey, we almost got Rutgers, so very pleased with the progress in the program and some of our young players that we've got right now.
UConn displaying much more intensity. They're making it very difficult for Stony Brook just to inbound the ball.
That's what Jim Calhoun wants, Bob. He's saying, hey, you've got to play with intensity at all times. You can't turn it up and then down. You've got to stay consistent. League play right around the corner, and you've got to get at that level. Good defense again.
Saunders with the step-in steal. Here's Brown on the right to Selby, who draws the foul. Johnny Selby coming off a career-high 26 points the other night against Rhode Island. That's the second highest point total scored by a UConn player off the bench in Jim Calhoun's 15 years on the job. The only one who scored more off the bench was Ray Allen. The turnover story for Stony Brook. Talik Brown, a couple of head fakes and the layup. Stony Brook now with 1 more turnover than field goal. 15 turnovers, 14 field goals, and slowly UConn pulling away. The lead is now 10.
I thought Brown may have gotten away with a walk on that last one, on that second pump fake. Boy, his feet were moving with it. But UConn's man-to-man defense in the second half, the difference, they're just extending and making it so difficult for Stony Brook to get any good looks.
Hand check call on Brown, his first 2 on the Huskies. UConn has won 17 straight games against non-conference opponents in this building. Last team to beat Jim Calhoun's club in this building, other than a Big East team, was Roy Williams' Kansas Jayhawks in January of '97. Right side jumper, Valero, who's done a nice job coming off the bench. He's got 7 points. Look at the reversal on the dribble by Butler. Misses the shot, but gets his own rebound. And Konopka with the rebound of a second Butler miss.
Butler makes it look easy at times, doesn't he, with those moves?
Munier with that unusual release. And here's Butler with the rebound. Runs the break himself. Juggled by Mooring. Picked up by Selby, who gets some separation but misses the shot. Rebound number 7 by Bridgeport, but his first in nearly 10 minutes.
And Nick McCarchuk, more or less with Munir giving him the stop sign, saying, hey, slow it down, work the clock, keep your poise, and stay within the game plan.
Munir wants Bridgeport down low. Defended by Selby. Kick out. Little for 3. Long rebound run down by Konopka.
In a fresh 35 seconds, Bridgeport getting doubled up when he gets it down low. They'd love to get him involved with this thing.
Bridgeport only with 4 points. Spins around Selby and worked very hard for his 5th and 6th points, didn't he?
He really did. He got it. He likes that move where he fakes right, and then he spins around to his left. A very strong move to the basket.
Bridgeport, the only Stony Brook player who has ever played against UConn. Played against the Huskies a couple of years ago during his only season in a Providence uniform. Spent the first 2 years of his collegiate career at Los Angeles Valley Junior College. Selby puts it on the floor, knocked away. 12 seconds left to shoot for UConn as Nick McCarchuk goes to his bench. And returning, Jairus McCollum, who started the game. And also checking in Lee Church, a freshman guard from Brooklyn, New York. Shot clock now inside 10 for the Huskies. Brown in the lane. Tipped up by Saunders, and there's Bridgeport with rebound number 8.
Doing a good job in there.
Cross court steal Mooring. Look out, 3-on-1. And Selby with the finish. It won't count. Or yes, it will count. They're going to count the basket and call the blocking foul off the ball, I believe, on Church.
That is an unusual call, because the block occurred before the dunk occurred. Let's check it out.
I think the whistle did too.
Is Mooring right there, the drop.
There's
your contact. I'm surprised that he allows that basket unless he feels he was in the act of dunking the ball prior to the contact.
And it could be even more punitive for Stony Brook, since the foul did not involve the act of shooting. Instead, the Huskies inbound. So instead of free throws,
possession,
they could get a 3. Could be a 5-point trip down the floor. Instead, the Huskies will settle for 4. And just like that, the lead back up to 10. 8 minutes in. 10 points off the bench for Tony Robertson. Might be his best performance since that win over Arizona. And Church called for the double dribble. Turnover number 17 for Stony Brook. Timeout, 11:49 remaining at the Hartford Civic Center. UConn looking for win number 11, and the Huskies find themselves up by 10. Big night off the bench for Tony Robertson. You're watching Big East basketball from ESPN+. It's a 10-point UConn lead, 11:49 remaining here at the Hartford Civic Center. A familiar face looking on, Central Connecticut State head coach Howie Dickinman, who was an assistant Ron under Nick McCarchuk at Canisius before becoming an assistant coach first under Don Perno, then under Jim Calhoun at UConn. So he has ties. He's sitting just 1 seat away from exactly the midcourt line. So I guess he figures he has to be as neutral as possible because of his affiliation both with Nick and Calhoun and the assistants on the UConn bench.
Right down the middle. Well, maybe he could sit in the aisle. That'd really clear it up for him.
He's virtually straddling that midcourt line. His Central team, by the way, will take on Seton Hall on Saturday night at the Meadowlands. Howie, of course, took the Central Blue Devils to the NCAA tournament last year. And how about the return of Rocky Hill's Josh Little to his old stomping grounds? That's his 4th 3 of the night. 4 for 5 from three-point land, 5 of 7 overall, and 14 points.
He's got a great release, and more importantly, it brings the Stony Brook club back within 7. That was a big hoop.
Selby really knows how to carve just enough space to get a shot off inside.
He slithers in there. He's got a knack for it. He's a scorer. He's not necessarily a pure shooter, but boy, does he fill up that basket almost every time he gets the ball, shooting over 60% from the floor.
He's got 10 tonight. He's already had 3 games this year off the bench for 20 points, including his last 2. Munir, down low, Bridgeport. Selby steps in to knock it away. 12 to shoot for Stony Brook.
And you know, Jim Calhoun bringing Selvey off the bench, you know he's going to give you a big lift point-wise. He's also very aggressive out there and active, so just the ultimate kind of spark plug from the forward position off the bench.
Shot clock down to 5. Munir on the switch, defended by Saunders. McCollum goes by Selvey, who fouls him. And that will be number 2 on Johnny. We mentioned right at the very beginning of the night that I don't think in this last 13-year run where UConn has been to the postseason every year, certainly, Ron, the Huskies have had some great players come off the bench. Ray Allen, of course, wasn't a starter right away, and Allen, one of the best, if not the best player in UConn history. But I'm not sure the Huskies have ever had a player so productive off the bench so early in his UConn career as Selvey. He's just guaranteed offense, and they've never had a player with this sort of production off the bench at a four-court position like Selvey.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's averaging just under 15 a game, and he just has, you know, that instant offense game. He comes in, gets it right to the basket, but lifts you up, too, in terms of the level. He plays at a very high hustle and emotional level out there.
National Junior College Player of the Year a year ago. Albert Mooring with the runner from the right side. Mooring, preseason selection for second-team All-Big East, has 9 points. The lead is 10 as we reach the midway mark of the second half.
This is a big spread the way Stony Brook's playing this game. Patience, trying to do 2 at a time, and it's tough to make up this kind of deficit.
Little, another 3, his 5th of the evening.
Now that's one way to get back in. Little ride that hot shooting arm. He is unconscious right now from three-point land.
17 points for Josh Little. Butler misses the chippy inside. Rebound on a hop comes out to Little. Stony Brook with the ball, down 7. 9.5 remaining. Munir on the weave gives to Bolero. Little around again, the head fake. Feeds it into the post. Knocked loose by Saunders, then a held ball created. Possession arrow pointing toward UConn. And checking into the lineup for the first time tonight for Stony Brook will be J.B. Bennett, who underwent arthroscopic knee surgery in the preseason. This is only his 4th appearance of the year. Has scored 13 points in 26 minutes. Robertson attacking that Stony Brook zone. Mooring with the good head fake results in the wide open look. Saunders rebounds inside, then tried to pass to Butler but knocked away. UConn ball with 33 seconds left in the shot clock.
Saunders has had a very quiet night. That's a great rebound there, but he's just got 1 point. He's got to go up strong when he gets a board like that one and try to make something happen.
And on the inbound, Little beats Mooring to the ball for points number 18 and 19.
Little's just having an outstanding game. That's a mental mistake by UConn throwing that ball away on the inbounds.
5-point UConn lead, and the crowd getting very restless. Robertson on the right. Mooring. Back to Robertson. Inside Butler, and as he goes, he'll draw the foul. I think it was on Bolero on the reach in. That would be his 2nd. And Stony Brook in the second half has now committed 5 team fouls.
Well, it looked like Butler was in the act of shooting, but they're going to say no. It was on the floor, and it's UConn ball out of bounds. Surprised Butler's not on the foul line. Looked like he was going up on that one.
It's Bolero's 3rd foul, so he will sit down. That turnover a moment ago by UConn, it's 1st of the second half. Butler takes it right to the hole and will draw team foul number 6 on the Seawolves.
That one was definitely in the act of shooting. Now, we haven't had a lot of free throws in this game. It's been jump shots by Stony Brook. Josh Little getting it done. Not much action inside. And Stony Brook's played a lot of zone, so UConn also has not taken it to the basket as much as we normally see them, where they get a lot of free throws.
Deron Butler already this year with a triple-double and 2 other double-doubles. Munir looks for the screen from McCollum. Bridgeport will return for Stony Brook at the next stoppage of play. Konopka sets the high pick. Now Little comes around a screen. Shot clock inside 10 yet again. Munir with the clock down to 5.
Gonna have to get it done.
Cross court Butler, look out!
Just waiting to see what degree of difficulty he was going to put on that one. Kind of hung on the rim a little bit. He's got to be careful with that one. If no one's in the neighborhood, you got to get off that rim.
Inching closer to another double-double. He's got 8 points and 7 assists. And now Saunders will be called for the reach-in foul. For Edmond, that is his second. And that will bring us to another timeout. Another highlight film entry for Mr. Butler. 7:32 to go. Butler and the Huskies up 7. Center. The Beck's Beer game summary thus far between UConn and Stony Brook. Seawolves shooting 56%, but they've turned it over 19 times. 19's the number of points for Josh Little, who's got 5 threes and 6 attempts. The Huskies with 24 points off turnovers, leading the way with 10 each, both off the bench. Johnny Selby and Tony Robertson.
Well, Little's done a great job to step up from the perimeter. Just a 7-point game. Bridgeport, their leading scorer inside, has been doubled up. They've kicked it outside. Little keeping him in the game.
McCollum, left side, Konopka. They look for Bridgeport inside, but the Huskies have done a great job of denying that entry pass all night. Church dribbles off his foot and out of bounds. We are at the Hartford Civic Center in downtown Hartford, Connecticut, the state capital. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Ron Perry. Final pre-Big East game for the UConn Huskies, and they lead Stony Brook 52-45 with 7:10 remaining.
The longer that Stony Brook hangs around in this game, the more confident they feel down the stretch. They want to keep it close. They've got to play good defense in this zone. And for UConn, the middle of this zone's wide open if Butler and Selby can flash in there.
Stony Brook with even 20 turnovers. Shot clock at 10. Selby cross court to Mooring. Stolen by McCollum. Great athletic move to find Munir. Down low McCollum. Butler with the reach in for the held ball. McCollum looked like Jim Brown with the football and keeping those legs moving. Only trouble is the whistle had blown.
Possession arrow favors Stony Brook right now, so they'll have the inbounds play. And they, again, who would have thought 7 points with 6:41 to go in this game as they continue to just play a kind of a slow tempo, half-court type pace. You got to shoot it well to play that kind of pace, and they have shot it well. They have struggled with turnovers, but they've shot the ball down.
Konopka to inbound. 28 left in the shot clock. Donnie Gray suggesting the players keep their hands off one another before the ball's inbounded. Great ball from it, results in the 3 by Munir.
Inside out passing. Stony Brook's lit from the perimeter. It's working right now.
The lead is 4, but make it 6 as Robertson takes it right to the rim for his 11th and 12 points.
Great push of the basketball by UConn. That was a fast break basket after a made field goal by Stony Brook.
Munir with his first 3 of the night, the 7th 3 of the night for the Seawolves, and away from the ball. We're going to get a foul on Stony Brook. I think it might be on McCollum as he tried to get free off the ball. Team foul number 7 on the Seawolves, so the Huskies will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
Nick McCarchick with the reaction. Just can't believe that away from the ball foul.
First foul on McCollum, and he picked the wrong guy to foul too. Albert Mooring from the free throw line. 90.6% from the line on the year. 48 of 53. Second best free throw shooting percentage in the Big East. To get information on your favorite Big East team, we suggest you go online at www.bigeast.org for all the basketball and conference news from around the Big East. Albert Mooring lights out from the free throw line. He's got 11. The UConn lead is 8 as we approach the 6-minute mark as Stony Brook continues to hang around. 2 games ago against Rutgers, they led the Scarlet Knights by 4 at 2 different points in the second half.
Yeah,
before losing by 7.
Right in that game, could have won it. They played very tough, and they're playing very well in this game.
And away from the ball, a hold will be called on Selby. And for Johnny, that's his 3rd 15th foul on UConn here in the second half. Johnny Selby, 2 nights ago against Rhode Island, 11 of 14 from the floor. En route to that career-high 26-point performance. Huskies going small now with Selby, Butler, and 3 guards. Mooring, Brown, and Robertson. Down low, Bridgeport. Kick out Munier. Hands to Little. Robertson's right with him.
Well, a quick lineup out there for UConn, really extending to the perimeter. They'll look to run when they rebound.
Shot clock inside 10. Konopka sets the screen for Munier, then gets the return pass. Shot clock at 3. Down low, Bridgeport with 1, and he beats the clock.
Now that's great execution by Stony Brook. They worked it right down. The release by Bridgeport against that extended defense just before the buzzer. Back to the 2-3 zone.
8 points for Bridgeport. The UConn lead down to 6. Robertson with the miss. And Bridgeport over Selby's back on the rebound. Will pick up foul number 3.
Well, Leon Bridgeport, I tell you, he's been doubled up in this game. He hasn't had a lot of good shot opportunities, but just really kind of waits his time out here. Eventually gets the nice bounce pass by Konopka. I like that lefty bounce pass, huh? Releases that with 34 seconds on the shot clock having gone down just before the buzzer. Nice job by Bridgeport, who's been very solid. He's the go-to guy for this Stony Brook club inside.
Indeed he is. Averaging 22 per game in his last 5 as Selby misses the shot. And we have a lane violation. And a do-over.
Well, Bridgeport was in the lane before Selby released the ball. It's a good call by the officials.
Selby played on the National Junior College Championship team last year at Southeastern Community College in Iowa. So he misses the mulligan as well. Stony Brook down 6 with the ball. Left side, Hartman. Little getting a rest on this possession.
Which I'm not. They better get Little back out there quickly.
Bridgeport inside, counted in the foul, and should he make the free throw, the Stony Brook Seawolves will be within 3 points of the nation's 11th ranked team.
I mean, Stony Brook executing right now about as good as you can. Beautiful bounce pass, a gamble in there by Selby. Got to play some position defense, and the weak side help just a little late coming in, and Bridgeport with a couple of big baskets. Right now, Stony Brook getting more and more confident, and the longer they hang around late in this game, that's all they're looking for is a chance to be there at the end.
I'd like to eavesdrop on that conversation, wouldn't you?
A lot of hugging going on. A lot of talking.
He didn't need directions to get there, did he? Donnie Gray providing it free of charge. So Bridgeport a rebound away from yet another double-double. He already has 5 of them this year. He's been a monster on the road, Ryan, averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds in his 6 road games before tonight.
Crowd's really been out of this game too tonight. Stony Brook's kind of lulled everyone, you know, into a low-key atmosphere here at the Civic Center.
Lead down to 3 as we approach the 4-minute mark. Brown bounce pass baseline to Saunders. He finds Brown in the lane over Bridgeport.
Nice job by Brown. You wouldn't expect Brown to be the guy to get down in the paint area and finish it off. That's what happened there against that zone where the opening's in the middle.
Civic Center crowd imploring UConn to make a stop at the defensive end. And they do, as Butler just picked McCollum's pocket. And then Hartman makes it worse by committing the reach-in foul from behind. That's his 2nd. That's 9. on Stony Brook. And to the free throw line will go Butler. UConn just 7 of 14 from the line tonight.
And Little's going to check back in for Stony Brook, and I don't think Munir will be very far behind. All of a sudden, the offense seemed to stall a little bit with both of those guys on the bench. Free throws always critical in really any game, especially a close one though, where you can put a game away when you're in front by converting the free throws.
Khalid El Amin is the only freshman in Jim Calhoun's 15 years at UConn who scored more points in his first 8 games than Caron Butler. And Butler's the only freshman in 15 years under Jim Calhoun who has hit for double figures in each of his first 8 games.
He's been so consistent ever since he got into the action, and he's right there again in this one.
They'll make it 9. Butler a perfect 9 for 9 for double figures in his UConn career. Timeout, 3:51 remaining. Jim Calhoun's Huskies with a 7-point lead. It's a 7-point UConn lead with 3:51 remaining here at the Hartford Civic Center. Now let's take a look at the BMW ultimate drive of the game. Caron Butler had many choices here. Sort of went for the straight head-on two-handed slam, much like you used to do in your days at Holy Cross.
Pretty nice finish. I would have needed a trampoline to pull that particular move off. He was out there, and I'll tell you what, he makes it look easy, Bob. You know, he's got the great size, the shot, the passing ability. Butler's got the full package.
Indeed he does, and Butler tonight, 10 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. 2 nights after that triple-double, only the 3rd Husky ever with a triple-double. Donyell Marshall was the first, Deron Shepard the second. Little back in, he's got 19 points.
Clock's been a big ally for Stony Brook all night, but now the longer they work the clock, the more they chop this game down.
And as Munir starts to go, a hand check will be called on the Huskies. UConn over the limit, so that will result in the 1-and-1. The foul on Talik Brown is his second. And to the free throw line will go DJ Munir. Nick McCarchick told me yesterday, Ron, we never intended to use Munir as a point guard for even one possession all year, but he sold us by his play in a preseason scrimmage against Central Connecticut.
Well, he's very poised. He's done a great job handling the ball. He's got himself in that role now, although he can't convert. That's a big free throw right there.
Rebound number 6 by Butler, and Talik Brown takes it right to the rim and draws the foul. This one will be on McCollum.
Talik Brown's been able to deliver some big baskets in this game inside and got himself to the goal, although this is an area where he's really struggled from the stripe.
And Jim Calhoun and the Huskies will tell you, Carl Hobbs especially has been working with him, that he shoots lights out free throws at practice, but he is 13 for 43 on the year. It has indeed become quite a psychological roadblock. And the crowd's reaction and Talik's reaction will give you an idea of just how much of a struggle it's been.
Got to just stay focused at the line, get into a rhythm.
Well,
he'll take that bounce.
They don't ask how, just how many, right?
Yeah, maybe that gets you going. Sometimes you get a roll and you say, hey, got myself a little rhythm now. I'm feeling better.
Well, the problem is when you have that reputation of being a poor free throw shooter, you make your team vulnerable when you're in the game at the end because you're the guy they'll foul. Down low, Saunders on Bridgeport. Cross-court pouring with great anticipation with the big steal.
Yeah, Bridgeport, he's really being doubled up. It's been frustrating inside. Got to find a way to go up on that one and draw the foul.
Turnover number 23 for the Seawolves.
UConn now spreading it out, 4 corners. They're going to have to make some free throws down the stretch to put it away. I'm surprised Stony Brook doesn't come out right here and get after them with 2:30 to go.
Timeout UConn with 12 seconds left on the shot clock and a 9-point UConn lead. UConn has been absolutely dominant in this building over the years. 88-15 in the Hartford Civic Center in the last 12 years. And in that same period, Ron, against non-conference opponents, 52-1. And in fact, the last time the Huskies lost a home game either here or at Gamble Pavilion in the months of November or December was to Villanova back in December of '89.
Just a great record. So many positive things have happened over, you know, the hot record over this past decade. 100 years of basketball. UConn been on an absolute roll, averaging over 30 wins a season the last 3. So right now, though, they've had their hands full with Stony Brook in this one. 9 points is a big lead in this game, the way the pace has gone. Look for UConn to spread it, Stony Brook to pressure, and for free throws to be the key right down the stretch for the Huskies.
It should be interesting to see once Stony Brook reaches the point that they feel they have to foul to stop the clock, if they go out of their way to foul Talik Brown because of his struggles from the line, his 2 for 2 a few moments ago notwithstanding.
He's going to have to make free throws. As a point guard, you've got to get to the line and knock him down, so he will be fouled. And Jim Calhoun obviously wants to have him out there because he does so many good things from the point guard spot. Here's some pressure now by Stony Brook. Look for man-to-man, tight defense.
Again, 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Mooring will be defended by, now here's the trap. Little and Muneer chase Brown. Shot clock at 3. Right side, Robertson has to let it go. He does. How do you like that?
Nice job, Robertson. Just before the buzzer, he's been very effective off the bench tonight.
Indeed, 14. He looked like a quarterback whose team is in front, doesn't snap the ball before 1 second left on the play clock down the stretch.
That was athletic ability, getting it done. He leaped up over the defense and got that one to go down. Nice move by Robertson.
Timeout, Stony Brook. 8-0 UConn run. This 9-point lead, the biggest lead of the night, with 2:06 remaining. Nick McCarchick told me yesterday, we're very pleased with our progress. We were a mediocre Division II program. It's going to be a long process, but I think we're ahead of where we thought we could be at this point. Out of town, 18th ranked Cincinnati with the 10-point lead over North Carolina Wilmington. Syracuse with the 14-point win. Virginia hammering Bucknell's second half. Florida with a 19-point lead at the half on the road. Arizona with the early lead over Butler. Texas, they'll play UConn next month, up 12. In the Big East, Pittsburgh beats Robert Morris by 22. Providence bludgeoning Boston University. Villanova trailing by 13 at Georgia. West Virginia leading James Madison by 5 in the first half.
Now Stony Brook's now got to go to the basket. They're down 11 now, so there's time running out. They've got to try to get it to the basket and draw a couple of fouls and put some pressure on and make UConn make foul shots.
Said it was a 9-point lead a moment ago. It meant 11.
Has been 9.
Math never one of my strong suits. McCollum stripped by Butler again, demonstrating why he's second in the conference in steals.
Nice job
so
by
Stony Brook now run with 24 turnovers and 22 field goals. Tough to win that way.
That really is. That's the one ingredient, the turnovers, that's really haunted them in this game. UConn's pressure caused a lot of those turnovers. Nice job by Talik Brown there. The freshman, he could have taken that ball down, pulled it back out, and UConn working the clock right now.
Stony Brook electing not to foul, so now you don't want to foul with time running out on the clock. Konopka with the read. Wait a minute. Didn't he just take 2 steps?
Covered some ground. I think the ball was deflected.
Down low, Bridgeport. A foul will be called. I think it's on Butler. And on Karan, that will be his third. 9 on UConn. So Bridgeport will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
That's a pretty good foul because Bridgeport was taking it to the basket either for a layup or he was going to draw a 2-shot foul.
UConn, Ron, has taken 21 more shots from the floor tonight than Stony Brook.
Stony Brook's been very patient. Even behind, they've said, hey, we're going to stick with the patient game plan, get involved. They got it pretty close, unable to get over the hump down the stretch.
Bridgeport misses the free throw. Rebound, Karan Butler. That's his 7th. Now they're in a position where they pretty much have to foul, right? Down 11?
Yeah, I would think so. You got to get after it, stop the clock. Nick McCarchick doesn't want the foul, though. He's saying, hey, we're down 11. Just play.
No, I don't think it was that, Ron. I think I could hear what Nick said. Nick said, not him.
Wrong guy. Think out there. Get it to the guy who's been struggling from the line. Not Mr. Automatic. You can see that graphic 22 field goals and 24 turnovers. A lot of shooting that worked out well for Stony Brook. They've played UConn, who's physically quicker and bigger, tough in this game.
So Mooring now 4 for 4 from the line tonight. That makes him 52 for 57 on the year. Second best free throw shooter in the Big East. 10-0 run for the UConn. Final minute of the game, 13-point lead. Right side, Little for 3 more. That's his 6th 3 of the night. His career high 8 against Bridgeport, and he's got 22 points. So what a homecoming it's been for the 6'2 senior from Rocky Hill, Connecticut.
Done a great job. And he's a patient guy out there, too. He hasn't forced it this time. He says, hey, defense comes out. Robertson not too far off. Just didn't get a hand up in his face quickly enough. Only the 38th field goal attempt. So great field goal percentage shooting by Stony Brook in this game. Not enough field goal attempts. The reason for that is they've worked the shot clock down most times down the court. Nick McCarchick still working his kids in the huddle, saying, hey, hang in there. Let's see if we can get a quick reach in. Let's see if they go for Brown this time.
It's been a great night for Little. Been spectacular from long range. UConn in the first 11 games has averaged 82 points. Huskies aren't going to get there tonight. Sitting at 66 up 10. Now Stony Brook goes for the steal, and when they don't get it, they commit the foul, and it is Brown they fouled. And Talik will go to the line. 2 for 2 tonight, but entering the ball game on the year, only a 30.2% shooter.
Made his last 2 though, so definitely feeling better about it right now.
So an outstanding form there.
And you know what? The confidence may be all he needs. There really doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the way he's releasing the ball. He's just got to get to that line believing that the ball is going to go in. He's definitely been practicing the shot. It's a confidence thing, and starts to go in. You're saying, hey, I can do it. No luck on that one.
3 of 4 tonight for the UConn team leader in assists. 11-point Husky lead. Final half minute of the game. Down low, Bridgeport, the head fake, then shoots over Butler. And Nick McCarchick with the quick timeout with 23.8 seconds left. So the shot clock will be off. It will be UConn ball, leading by 9. UConn will be off following tonight until next Wednesday. Ron and I will be at Connie Forum in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, for the Big East opener between UConn and Boston College. The Huskies with an incredible 23-game winning streak over the Eagles. Then UConn will host St. John's, the defending Big East champ. Then Pittsburgh, then Providence, then a non-league game at Texas. And Boston College will take an 8-0 overall record, Ron, into Saturday's game at home against Vanderbilt.
They're off to a very nice start this year. Al Skinner pleased with the way his team's playing. They have not been challenged. They have not played a particularly difficult schedule so far, but his team playing well, confident, ready to get into the Big East schedule. And they feel they could really make some headway this year.
It's been so long since Boston College has defeated UConn that the last time it happened in a building which no longer is standing, the Boston Garden. And
That's quite a streak.
And they have lost every which way, Ron. They have been hammered. They have lost close games. I'll never forget a game here at the Hartford Civic Center in the early 90s where BC, in the final seconds of regulation, had a wide open, unmolested putback that somehow did not go in, and it went into overtime when UConn won the game.
Sometimes when you run one of those streaks, that's where the ball bounces or doesn't bounce for you.
Gerard Abrams somehow missed the open shot.
He was a very clutch player, too, for BC. He made a lot of game-winning hoops.
And the funny thing is, it was right in the middle of the stretch of that game-winning hoop. So Stony Brook will be content to let the Huskies dribble out the clock. And indeed, UConn does, and the winning streak is now 10. 67-58, the Huskies beat Stony Brook.
Well, game effort by Stony Brook, but Jim Calhoun's team does what it has to win the game, pick up the defensive intensity in the second half. Stony Brook, though, has got to be proud of the way they played. They'll take this with them throughout the season to just lose by 9 to UConn. A lot of poise. Good job out there.
Tony Robertson off the bench leading the way for UConn with 14 points. Albert Mooring with 13. Talik Brown with 11. Caron Butler 10. Johnny Selby off the bench with 10. So we mentioned the Huskies, Ron, with 4 players averaging in double figures in the first 11 games. They had 5 players in double figures tonight.
Great balance. Another key for UConn. They're a deeper, quicker, more athletic team than Stony Brook. So a number of people getting into the act. I thought Robertson did a real nice job off the bench in this one, but the balance certainly there. Another one of the keys to victory for UConn here tonight.
So UConn extending a number of streaks, 10 straight wins overall, 71 straight home wins in the months of November and December, and 18 straight wins in this building against non-conference opponents. The turnover story, very decisive in UConn's advantage.
That was the big flaw in Stony Brook's game here tonight. They had to limit turnovers, and 24 just isn't going to get it done. They shot the ball extremely well. They held their own on the boards, but the turnovers really hurt them as the game went on. And UConn started to convert that one in very nice fashion with the stuff by Butler.
Albert Mooring, one of the 5 Huskies in double figures. So UConn now 11-1, Stony Brook 5-6. For Ron Perry, I'm Bob Picosi. Thanks so much for joining us, and we bid you farewell from the Hartford Civic Center, where UConn beat Stony Brook 67-58. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. Good night, everyone, from the Hartford Civic Center, as UConn extends its winning streak to 10.